Today I'm going to be taking this and turning it into this delicious Nigerian braised goat leg and obayata. This is a recipe by Yewande Komolafe from her series 10 Essential Nigerian Recipes made for the New York Times. I will be working through her recipe as closely as I can, but with a few minor adjustments for my taste and pantry. Yewande Komolafe is a Nigerian-American recipe developer who has worked with Food & Wine, the New York Times, and the James Beard Foundation. Her website has a ton of information about her as well as many other recipes. Links to the recipe that I'm following as well as her website are below in the description. The first hurdle in making this recipe was I had to find a goat leg. I've never cooked goat before, although I've loved eating it on many occasions. I called around to a few local butchers and found one about an hour from my house that would be able to get the goat leg for me. Town & Country in Greensboro, North Carolina was able to get the leg for me fresh in less than a week. Their market is adorable. It has a ton of local meats and produce, as well as lots of other products that they make on site or get from local vendors. These are the nice people behind the counter that helped me quickly, and I was on my way with my goat leg in just a few minutes. 2, actually, since the butcher couldn't find just one that was 5 pounds. And these are the raw goat legs. I didn't read the recipe very carefully when ordering these, and I didn't realize that I probably should have asked the butcher to cut the legs for me. So, of course, I tried to cut them myself, but as you can see, that wasn't working very well. After several minutes of trying, my fiance came in to cut it for me. He was successful, however, we broke our knife in the process. New life lessons were learned, but anyway, we now had pieces that would fit into my Dutch oven. These are the ingredients you'll need for the first 3 steps of the recipe. Before we begin cooking the goat, I'll prepare all of the vegetables. But first, let's take a quick break to give the dogs the carrot tops because they always love that. Back to preparing the vegetables. And now we'll salt the meat. Oil the Dutch oven over medium-high heat and sear the goat until it's browned on all sides. Remove the goat and brown the garlic. Once it's browned, remove the garlic and add the carrots and the onions. Cook them until they're tender and browning. Then we're going to add the tomatoes, crush them with your fingers and stir to combine. Add the herbs and the habanero. And add the stock, and I added a couple of tablespoons of red palm oil. Stir well and bring to a simmer, then add the goat and the garlic back in. Cover and place it in the oven. These are the ingredients you'll need to make the obayata. I added red palm oil for my taste since I already cook with it a lot, but I also used minced garlic since we'll be pureeing this anyway. Puree all of your ingredients except for the oil. Heat the oil over medium-high heat, add your puree, and then simmer and cover. If you're wondering what I did with the second leg, I decided to cook it whole in my barbecue using a simple olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic powder rub. It came out delicious in about 2 to 3 hours. I've just pulled the braised goat from the oven after about 2.5 hours. It smells absolutely delicious and has reduced down beautifully. First, I need to remove the goat to a separate bowl, and then I'm going to strain out the solids, but leave the broth. Now I'm going to add in the obayata, and I'm going to bring it to a simmer. Once it starts simmering, we add the goat back in, and then back in the oven it goes. This is a small harvest from my dining room table. And this is our finished Nigerian braised goat and obayata. It smells amazing, but also spicy. If you're not a fan of spicy foods, definitely lower the amount of habaneros or totally omit them. This is your warning that they are extremely spicy. but the goat is fall off the bone tender, so flavorful, it reminds me very much of Caribbean food. It also reminds me how much our cultures truly meld together. I served this with steamed white rice and a garnish of cilantro and green onions. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I have many more videos planned for 2021 and I hope you'll be part of my journey. If you've ever tried Nigerian food or want to see other cuisines, please let me know in the comments below. I'll see you next time.